Moving right along now, and thanks to our mates at Need a Car, we're off to the All USA Day, where wings and wheels mix at Mt Maunganui's Classic Flyers Museum.
The event's run by the Bay of Plenty Mustang Club. We're a club that's been going for about 15 years now, and we've run this event every year since, barring any disasters with weather. It's all about just giving the local people a chance to appreciate American cars, not just Mustangs, but all American cars in general. And alongside of that, we also try to raise money for local charities. Our charity of choice this year is Tauranga Assistance Dogs. So the money does stay local, and that gives that charity a chance to get exposure to the general public of Tauranga.
Did it what? The Bay of Plenty public turned up en masse, which must have been quite a relief for the hosts, as this is what greeted arriving entrants just a little earlier. But they're a hardy lot, these car people, and despite the damp, the huge range of vehicles included plenty of elite-level examples, from thoroughly fettled classics all the way up to cutting-edge modern muscle.
The cars are actually hand-built in the Michigan Flat Rock Assembly Plant, which is it's a subdivision of the Ford Motor Company up in Flat Rock in Michigan, and they take them off the assembly line and they take them to the Ford Performance Factory and then basically strip the cars down again and then rebuild them in the specification. This particular car of mine has been spec'd up as an FP350S race car, but a road-going model, so all of the running gear from an FP350S has been put into the R body and basically homologated for the road. So the car is based on the 5.2 litre flat plane crank Voodoo engine. It's running 759 horsepower at the rear wheels. It has a 6-speed transmission with straight cut gears, so slightly different to the production Tremec box which comes out of the GT350R. The wheels on the vehicle are carbon fibre, made by a company in Australia called Carbon Revolution, exclusively for Ford Performance. My car is not what a lot of people might think. It is not a trailer queen. I believe that performance cars are made to be driven, and driven well, you might say. A lot of people in the United States actually do not drive their R's on the road. They consider that they are a full track ready car and all they want to do is go to track days. Whereas out here in New Zealand, I guess, with our allegiances to our various Mustang clubs around the country, we like to be with our club members. It's like when you go into an ice cream parlour, there are many, many flavours of ice cream and there are many flavours of Mustang. And I like all flavours of ice cream, so therefore, by default, I must like all Mustangs.
We've talked up variety, and, well, contrasts don't get more stark than this. It may also be a Ford, well, mostly, but it would be fair to say Graham was going for a bit of a different approach.
It's a rat rod. It's running a 350 Chev, full-bolt mains one. I have a 69 RS SS Camaro with a Muncie gearbox, because I always wanted a manual, and AU Falcon running in the back, and just the combination is really good. Yeah, just something a wee bit different. All started from one of my little co-workers building a model and of a rat rod that he'd seen on TV and magazines, and thought, well, this is really cool, I want to build one. So I was in Auckland, and one day a friend rang me and said, hey, there's a Tudor body sitting up there for sale, why don't you go and have a look? And I did, and yeah, paid the money and brought it home, and yeah, sort of started from there. So it was a short build, I consider short, from a scratch build from nothing at all, 16 months roughly to build the whole car. That's just a lot of fun, yeah.
While on the outside the fit and finish is intentionally a little more primitive than that of the cars around it, this is a road legal car, so it's what's on the inside or underneath that counts.
When you put your car through certification from a scratch build, it's the rules and regulations we have are really good and very well written. So if you read the rules and go through it all, you'll build a car and it'll go through cert, and you can drive it around as much as you like. So just like any other car, yeah. Might not look it, but it's actually very comfy. Yeah, I've done some long drives on it, and very comfy. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It just doesn't look comfy.
Right, time to head back to the Bay of Plenty Mustang Owners Club's massive All USA Day now. set to the cool backdrop of Mt Maunganui's Classic Flyers Museum.
Oh, there's just about everything you could imagine. We're getting a lot more hot rods and a lot more modified street cruisers, all that sort of thing. Of course, we also get a massive turnout of Mustangs, which just with our members, we probably have 30 to 40 cars turn up. And then we get the Waikato Mustang Club turn up as well with 20 or 30 cars. So massive range. We're like most car fanatics. We like all types of cars, and specifically American cars. Our aim is to have as many different types of cars as possible.
Well, you can tick that box, and there sure was plenty for everyone. And with the Classic Flyers location, you had the option of wheels and wings. Fittingly, a highlight for many was a Mustang, however. An elite-level, all-steel 67 Super Snake owned by Kelvin Taylor and expertly pieced together by the team at Mt Panel Works. One of the car's most recent outings was a pretty grand affair, the massive stage that is Maguire's Motor-X in Sydney. But hey, when in New Zealand?
When Calvin first came to us about the car, he said he didn't really want a show car. He wanted a car that he can get out and drive and enjoy, and that's exactly what it's today. They drove up from Napier yesterday and went through to a place in Tiaraha, stayed the night at Mt Maunganui, and came over in the rain today and didn't even blink an eye that it was raining. But the whole car was built around to be driven. Fair enough. We took it to a show, took it to a pretty good big show, and just to see how it went there. And here it is here today, all dirty and grimy, but a bit of a wash. It all comes off, doesn't it? It started off as a 67 fastback, brought it in from America, and we basically turned it into an all-steel Eleanor. Was the second one we've done. This particular one's running a 427 Roush with nitrous. It's got a TKO 600 gearbox behind it, and that combination goes well together. And we've got the RRS full-on suspension in there. So when you're talking about driving and enjoying the car, it's comfortable to drive, and that makes it enjoyable on the road. And when you really want to put your foot down, it's there as well.
If you tuned in a couple of weeks back, you'll remember the first one. Fraser Mackenzie's 67 Fastback, the car that kicked off Mt Panel Works all-steel Eleanor builds. While the cars do share obvious similarities, each is a reflection of the owner's tastes, and naturally for Malcolm and his team, a chance to fine-tune and further raise the bar.
It's a huge challenge, but we seem to do it. Unfortunately, the last car that we build, we're trying to pick it to build one better, and the owners of the car say, "Oh, this is the best car you've ever done." Well, we try to make one better every time, so it's a little bit hard and embarrassing sometimes that way. But yeah, any owner of a car, they know where the faults are, and you try to improve it each time. So yeah, we try to. We've got one on the build now, which will probably beat this one again.
The All USA Day wrapped up with prize giving, and there were plenty of awards up for grabs here. People's Choice is always a neat one to land, and this year that honour went to Claire Bailey's C1 Corvette. Keep a lookout for the All USA Day when it returns in 2018.